George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. Al-Amin Muhammad is nationally recognized for his work feeding the homeless every Saturday, Sandwich Saturday. It has grown from under the bridge with a lot of folk to now he done moved on up to the east side. Well, East Syracuse, but still, he done moved on up. And 2 years at his location in East Syracuse, the we rise. He's the executive director, chief cook, and bottle washer. We rise above the streets recovery outreach, which is more than just now helping those who are housing vulnerable and homeless, but so much more. And so much has happened, Al-Amin, since we last checked in, including, so I guess it's been a couple of years because between now and then you had not moved to East Syracuse yet, or maybe you had just moved to East Syracuse, but just want to check in with you and really inform the community about the work you're doing, the nationally recognized work you're doing, where CBS, among others, have come in to see what you're doing. So let me start with how you doing?
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much, George, for having me. And yes, I think the last time that we seen each other, I think it was like before the pandemic or like a couple of weeks after the pandemic, but I don't remember. But I know one thing, that every time I see you, man, you bring so much light to my life, man. And you're a wonderful person, man. Always, always.
I appreciate that. And we've connected. You did the talk at the law school.
Yes, absolutely.
Not the law school, it's the Falk School. I always think of it as the law school because that's where the law school was before they moved across the street.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so. I've been great. A lot has been going on with me. Good
Let's
things.
Start with it. Talk to me. Talk to me, brother.
Good things. Summer Saturday, we rise above the streets. We had to move at our old location because we outgrew it. We was at 404 Oak Street for 8 years, and we noticed that every room that we had in our office space was full with donations and full of paperwork and everything else. So it got to a point that my office had turned to a donation drop-off as well. So we decided to move, and now we're in East Syracuse. And we have a lot of space, but as running a nonprofit, and a lot of people could vouch for me, as you grow, continue to help the community and continue to get staff, sooner or later, and most importantly, add more donations coming in. Sooner or later, you have to move again. Sorry for the background. It's not background noise. So we're here at Syracuse. This location is on the location that we run our pantries out of here, and we have children co-drives here. Every Thursday, we have our pantry, and families who suffer through food insecure families that comes here with their children. They come here and get a big couple of bags of full of groceries, hygienes, and sometimes they get house supplies as well. Summer Saturday has been very, very, very great. It's constantly growing. And special shout out to the city school district. They has been supporting us 1,000% for the past 9 years now, for donating the spot there at Lincoln Middle School for us to continue to have Summer Saturday. The building park has just has been gated up because of the work they're doing at the Old Tech High School, Old Tech School, right?
Yes.
Right next to the Central Bus Station. And shout out to Mayor Walsh and the Common Council. They gave us a property on Seymour in Onondaga to continue doing that work. And I'm very overwhelmed with all the people has been supporting this organization, from the top of politicians to community members to other nonprofits and the city itself, and a lot of other organizations and communities in other cities supporting We Rise Above the Streets. The programs that we just launched recently is a self-sufficient program that we go out and we encounter people who's been clean for a couple of years. And so they're clean from whatever substance have been taking, they welcome to join our self-sufficient program, and we offer them housing and jobs and mentoring, and I'm the first person in the front line mentoring a lot of them because there's a connection between a lot of our brothers and sisters who are struggling through poverty and struggling through addiction and mental health as well. The program has been launched like 6 months ago, and we had to cut down the numbers because we don't have that much space um, for our clients. But this been very, very heartwarming, and I've been very happy doing this program with a couple of guys.
Yeah, you obviously are in recovery yourself. How
Yes,
many years sober?
22 years in October.
Yeah. Every day. How does it work in that? Is it a saying, right? Every day is a new day. What's it saying?
Yeah. One day at a time. Every day you have to keep on working. You have to keep on working. And to be honest with you, George, it's easy now. In the beginning, it was a struggle. And I think I shared this with you several years ago that I started using ecstasies and using powder and smoking marijuana. And of course, marijuana is legal now, but that's another story. And alcohol, and I was one of the biggest drug dealers in Chicago. One of the biggest gang leader of the Gangster Disciples in Chicago. And so as I took that mask off and found my identity and found out who my Al-Amin Muhammad was, and found a lot of gifts about me, and that's when the struggle of leaving the drugs alone. And it took a long time. It was a lot of pain, it was a lot of hurt, and it was a lot of sickness, because when you're high and when you stop getting high, that's when all the sickness start coming, the high blood pressure and other things start happening. So I had to continue to take care of my health as I was recovering. So I think it came to a point to my 15 years, 16 years, it got much easier for me, much easier. I got a lot of friends in Chicago that grew up in high school and grew up in my neighborhood, and they drink and enjoy themselves while I'm around them, and it doesn't bother me at all. They crack jokes and all that stuff all the time, but they really respect my recovery, and I always smile that I could be around people drinking and I don't have no triggers. Especially a couple of my friends here in Syracuse, I've been invited to a couple of events, and a lot of people feel uncomfortable picking up a drink. I'm like, it's okay, man.
You
It's
think that
okay.
you talk about going in Chicago, part of your journey meant leaving Chicago to be in Syracuse to do this work, right?
hmm
Do you believe that you would be doing this work if you were in Chicago?
I'm so happy that you brought that, George. At this moment right now, my nephew right now is about to launch We Rise Above the Street Chicago in 2026. Um, 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 he has been with me every summer since I've been in Syracuse, coming to San Saturday, spending the summer with me, learning from me. But when he was young, he always said that he wanted to do this work. And in my mind, I was saying, like, it takes a special person to do this work. It's not easy. So he learned a lot from me over the years. So when I knew, when he took it serious, when he went to Chicago University and got a couple of degrees under his belt, social worker, and everything else, and constantly coming to Syracuse in the summer, because you know how when kids get to 18, 17, 18, they don't want to continue pursuing what they were talking about. They get distracted about the worldly things, but he stuck with it, and him and his buddies and them, every Sunday they go out to Wacker Drive in Chicago downtown, and they feed the homeless. And
Hmm.
and it got to a point now. He's about to open We Rise Above the Street Chicago in 2026. We're cutting the ribbon real soon. There's a lot of other things we have to put in place. But and I'm glad you brought that up. And so I'm surprised you brought it up. And I'm very excited about that. And I never knew it was gonna be my nephew. I actually thought it's going to be me, but he stepped up and got the blueprint
And
and
I love,
towards everything. Uh-huh.
and you're gonna incubate it. It seems like for 2 years before you launch it. So, right,
Yes. Yes,
226
yes.
before it happens.
Yeah.
And you talked about it takes a lot out of you. This is not easy. What about it is not easy?
So when I first got to Syracuse and my first marriage, with my ex-wife, it was just me and her, and we started off, making sandwiches out our living room window. I mean window, our living room, in our living room, making sandwiches and sack lunches and going out in the community. As the organization started growing, um, it was like a high. That's the only way I could put it. I was just in a zone in the high. I love doing the work and constantly working every day, 7 days out of the week, and not take care of myself mentally. And I know that I suffered through mental health issues in my past, and still do. Suffer mental health issues at this moment. So I was not really paying attention during the years, just flying here, accepting speaking engagements, accepting a lot of interviews, and not feeling nothing but feeling numb. So it got to a point in the pandemic. Um, I was continue working during the pandemic, and a lot of nonprofits stopped. And I believe I was the only organization was out, and it was just me and two people was with me, as well. And it was one day, George, my brother, I had a breakdown, a mental health breakdown, during the middle of the pandemic. And then that was the time that I told myself that I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to take time to myself. I haven't took no vacations. I haven't did nothing. I was just enjoying myself, continue to work until a breakdown occurred, and I was told I need to take a break. So I traveled to Africa.
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes. Where did you go? So where did you go in Africa?
I went to Sierra Leone, Ghana, and last
Uh,
Morocco as well.
was it in one trip you did that?
Yeah, oh no, it was Sierra Leone was like one trip, and then I went back to
Ghana.
Ghana like about a month later, and Somalia. I spent a long period of time there for like almost a month there,
You didn't
and
even
then
mention Somalia. So
yeah, Somalia. Yes, I was there for about
and then,
almost a month.
and in
and
Morocco, you said
and
as
then
well.
Morocco as well. And that was one of the most beautiful time of my life because I had the opportunity to do some self-reflection, self-inventory by myself and get back to the basics and to love me, to love me. And it's okay to say no, because that was my problem. I would never say no to nothing that brought to my table. And that time when I went out there and engaged with a lot of people and a lot of leaders out there as well, and getting into my spiritual faith of Islam, and doing a lot of thinking and I got back to the U.S. and it seemed like I had control of my life. I got back to where I need to be at, and since then, George, I've been on the right path. I've been on the right path.
What was it like first time going to Africa? To the Sierra Leone was the first country. What was that like when you first went there? Because I just recently had the experience of going to Ghana for the first time as well.
Oh, okay. Great. So Sierra Leone, when I first got there, um, it seemed like it was like an energy I never felt before when I got there. When I got there, I was home. It seemed like I belonged there. Like
Same
and
feeling.
I never I talked to my mom on the phone. She was worried when me traveling out there, and I actually told my mom this that I don't want to come back. And she thought I was just excited. And when a couple of weeks went by, and I actually told her again, and my sister, no, I don't want to come back. And the reason is why is because when I went out there, it was so much people that embracing me. I got a hotel room for 3 weeks in Sierra Leone. I met a family at a marketplace, and they invited me to their home, and they told me that I don't need to go to the hotel room. I could stay with them. And when I stayed with them, it was just like I was with my grandmother, my mom,
Did you leave
and
the hotel? Did you actually
yeah,
do it?
yeah. I left the hotel, went to the village. In Sierra Leone and other parts of Africa, they have the main city, like downtown, like something like that, and they have the village, and you
Right.
go out to the village. And I was in the village for 3 weeks, and experience that I had there of the love and the comfort and eating so much good food and going out and getting my own water and going out to the field and planting my own food and bringing it back and hearing stories of the history of Sierra Leone and get the opportunity to meet people in the village, like leaders and chiefs, African, chiefs and everything else. It was amazing. It was very amazing. And a lot of them I still communicate with in daily basic, because they love America.
Yeah. Well, you said you were home, and I know that feeling.
Yes.
How does that experience translate to the work that you do now?
It made me more grateful with gratitude and empathy, because when I went out there, it was, I ain't even gonna say it's poverty. When I say poor, and what was so amazing to me is that we had a lot of poor people in Sierra Leone, but they kept a smile on their face. It was just part of their life. It was not no mental health break. I was poor, tears, crying. Everybody was smiling and asking me, do I need help, and assisting me with everything else. So what it did for me, I came back to the U.S. and told myself, stop complaining and continue to have gratitude, empathy for people, and continue to do this work, and this is my purpose, and this is the gift my high power has gave to me, and I'm gonna continue doing this work to the rest of my life.
Al-Amin Muhammad, we rise above the streets recovery outreach, right? And so the outreach piece is volunteers. So let's say me and my boys want to come out and help. Do we have to sign up or do we just show up?
Yes. Somebody just asked me, one of the long time volunteers said, I got bougie now because now you just can't walk up. You have to go
Ah,
down
you
with.
bougie now.
Somebody said, you got bougie now, because we can't walk. Because the reason why, because people have to go on our website and they have to fill out the registration form. And then we get and give us a date where they're gonna come in San Saturday, and we contact them and give
And
them
then
the
you
location.
confirm.
Yeah, we confirm. Yes,
Right,
absolutely. And the
right.
reason
So
is why is because the capacity at Lincoln Middle School, and nobody haven't complained about the capacity. To be honest with you, but I'm just being more generous to cut down the crowd, because if when you start getting over like close to 300-400 people in one room, probably more than that, you gotta try to organize the crowd. That's all they have to do is register, and then we'll tell them the location, and then we'll take it from there.
yeah, and this is the beautiful. You also got married recently?
Yes. I got married to man, amazing woman, George. Amazing, beautiful woman, beautiful heart woman. I met her 7 years ago at Harold Washington College downtown Chicago. I was doing a speaking engagement there. And then we became good friends over the years. It was right after my divorce, became good friends. And
And you
then
make sure you say that, right?
yeah. Yes, after my divorce, my first divorce,
Yeah,
and then we became good friends, very good friends. She's a doctor. She traveled all around the US to different hospitals, because I think a lot of nurses and doctors that's listening right now, you remember that time during the pandemic,
right.
they offer a
Travel.
lot of traveling. And then after everything got a little back to normal, they continue doing it, because I guess because
Hmm.
of the money,
Right.
So she kept doing it. So she's originally from Oakland. Her parents and them from Morocco, her mom and dad. She's originally from Morocco. She moved to Oakland and got her degrees and became a doctor, and that's what she do. So met her at Harold Washington College, became good friends, and then she traveled to here, see my work, and fell in love with the work and everything else. And I traveled with she at Oakland, and she's a heart surgeon, and I don't want to be in that room or whatever she doing that, So, but then one day I just asked a big question, and she was like, "Yeah," and I told her I wanted to do it again, propose you in front of your parents. So we traveled to Morocco, and I met her parents and her family for the first time. And anybody that's hearing, and you, George, as well, if you ever get a chance, please take the family to Morocco. That's a beautiful, beautiful country, a beautiful city. Kind people, and very relaxing, very quiet and relaxing. So we actually got married there. We got married in Morocco in front of our parents, and then we traveled to Chicago to my parents, so she could meet my parents. And since then, it's going on 9 months. We just talked about that yesterday. it's going. A lot of stuff had changed because she had to move away from Oakland and come to Syracuse. She's in Syracuse now. Come to Syracuse, and we've been together for about 8 months. And I just told her last night, I was like, man, we haven't argued or nothing. And I got to rattle the cage or something. I'm getting kind of scared.
No. See, this is people getting twisted, right? You ain't gotta do that. No. You don't
Right,
want to do
right.
that. No. Don't listen. Don't rattle the cage.
I know, right? I was like, that's all much of my life was surrounded a lot of drugs.
Right. See, this is really interesting. I'm glad you
Scary.
mentioned this
Yes.
because we get to a place where peace, calm, and tranquility doesn't seem like the norm.
Yes.
But it is for a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
But for some of us, we've normalized the chaos and the toxicity,
Yes.
and we look for that in every relationship, and then when it's not there, sometimes we want to create it. So that's why I'm saying
and
to
that
you,
was
brother.
me, and that was me, and she don't understand. She don't understand. She didn't understand it at first till she got to really know me very well in my past, and especially when I was, in the streets and everything else. And she's very understanding of why I'm feeling that way, But I got to a point now to like, Al-Amin, relax. You at peace, because in the beginning 6 months, it's kind of like, wow, you coming home, everything is so perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Is this my life? Wait a minute. I just want to have an argument for a minute, right? Okay, no.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. So to answer the question, it's great. It's really great. She wanted to be here. When I told her I was doing this interview today, and I want to introduce you her, but she's not going to make a time. She come in tonight at 9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
We will see her next time.
Yes.
And then we will have the misses on as part of it. But it's so good to, and does it get tired to be recognized? Like, you've been recognized so much all over this community, all over the country, really. How humbling is that?
So my daily routine, and it's never get old. It put a smile on my face, and it's a feeling that I can't really describe. It's like a big feeling, like somebody's always hugging me and telling me I love you genuinely. Stepping out the community, going to stores and going to grocery stores and having so much love and taking pictures with everyone and having conversations with people, man. And I'm learning a lot from people in the city of Syracuse, learning the history of Syracuse by talking to a lot of people from our community on the south side and west side, and even traveling around central New York, because I've been everywhere because I speak a lot of schools in central New York, places people have never heard in central New York. So it's very humbling. I'm very, 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 very grateful, because my goal when I first started this work, it was all about feeling. I didn't want nobody to feel like how I felt.
Right.
And if I see that, I'm there for you and I can fill in that hole for you. That was my goal. And to realize that it was bigger than that, it's bigger than that now. And it's very humbling, and to meet people from all walks of life, because we rise above the streets, we draw a lot of people from all religions and all backgrounds and cultures and races. We bring everybody together. So it's a learning experience, and it really, really, really feel good. I was just in Chicago in a barbershop a couple of weeks ago, and people, if we eat, they eat.
If we eat, they eat. Yeah. You know what it reminds me of?
Yes.
Well, it's the opposite of the song of Bob Marley, "Them belly filled, but we hungry." And you're turning that around. You're turning that around, right? Because he says, you're saying, if we eat, they eat. So in the Bob Marley song, he was like, they're belly full, but we hungry. And you don't want people to be hungry, right?
Absolutely.
And so
I just want to address something real quick to a lot of people. More information about our organization. A lot of people think that we feed the homeless only. We feed everyone, and actually our numbers come from the poverty of Syracuse,
right.
of children poverty and the poverty of Syracuse. And a lot of people come to Sandwich Saturday. A lot of people come to Sandwich Saturday because of safety. You know, a lot of people come to Sandwich Saturday because of comfort. You know, people come to eat. People get brand new clothes, cold shoes, and everything else. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. A lot of people that's who's dealing in the streets, you know what I'm talking about. You know, our drug dealers, and they come there too to get gloves and everything. And that's the opportunity for me. That's a test for me to get them off the streets. And so far, some of them have gone off the street because of my story and the language that I'm speaking and the genuine and being there for them to help them to overcome that street life. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
know, because uh-huh.
To your point, right? Yeah,
Yes.
and so it's beyond just feeding. And I want
Yes.
to say, I'm glad you clarified that it was for the homeless, even though in your description of your organization,
Yes,
it's
absolutely. Yes.
okay.
Yes, in the beginning. Yes,
So
yes,
y'all
yes.
either y'all need to go ahead and do some little editing,
Absolutely.
because y'all
Yes.
describe yourselves as. But
Yes.
I would say and I'm messing with you, but the fact of the matter is, your priority has always been those who have been homeless and housing vulnerable, but
Yes.
you're basically saying if we eat, they eat. So if you come to Sandwich Saturday and want a sandwich, you can get one. So there's one, people can donate their time, but they can also donate sandwiches. Talk to me
Yes.
how they do that.
Yeah, yeah. If anybody wants to donate Sandwich Saturday items, all you have to do is just call us, and our website is streetrecoveryoutreach.org. And our number is there. Just call us and we'll just schedule a drop off as
And
well. If any restaurants are listening, we are collaborating now with 12 restaurants that take turns cater every Saturday at our event. If any restaurants want to collaborate with us as well, they could contact us as well. So we do make sandwiches and sack lunches. We offer hot meals as well.
hot
Yeah,
meals as well.
yeah,
So for the sandwiches, it's turkey, cheese, bread, granola
yeah.
bars, the chips
Yes,
as well.
yes. Individual chips, and
Hmm.
then kids. We have an art session, and kids make inspirational messages, and they put it in the bag as well. You know,
Street
so
streetrecoveryoutreach.org for more
yes.
information. Al-Amin Muhammad is up in these streets. If we eat, they
They
eat.
yes, yes,
All right.
absolutely, absolutely.
Somebody we feel good about here on Inspiration for the Nation. Al-Amin, thank you so much.
Thank you.